From your perspective, how is customized learning different from what one experiences in a traditional classroom in school?
Well, in a traditional class, everybody moves at the same pace and everybody has to be in the same exact spot. There's not really much area for differences in student learning pace, so you can't really move ahead. And in customized learning, you can't really fall behind because the teachers keep pushing you. And we have checks every week, so we don't fall behind. And we can also move ahead if we're comfortable with working more or if we're feeling comfortable with what we're learning. And it's kind of nice because you don't have to just kind of be bored in class. You can have fun and you can learn at your own pace if you want to move faster than the rest of your class.
Okay. What do you perceive as the most significant advantages, and you've already described a couple, significant advantages of customized learning for yourself as well as for other learners in your classroom?
Well, I really like that we don't have to stay on the same thing and keep doing the same thing that we know over and over. I really like that if we understand something, we can kind of just move on and move to something that's maybe more difficult, or just keep going through these things and learning instead of just being stuck in the same spot. I also like that we can kind of form our own groups, so if we want to move as fast as a friend, or we kind of just want to form a little group and move at the same pace, we can just have that little group of 2 or 3 or 4 people and move at that pace with them. And that's kind of another way that helps me to kick it in the butt sometimes and do my stuff, is I want to be with my friends and learning with my friends. So if I'm starting to get behind, then that kind of pushes me to get going a little bit.
Okay. What would you note is anything in particular that's been challenging in terms of making this transition to customized learning for yourself or other students?
It's really difficult, I think, for the teachers and the students to communicate because everyone is in a different spot. So the teacher has to kind of figure out what you're on, and you kind of have to spend a little bit more time explaining what you're doing before the teacher can help you sometimes. And also there's a lot of questions like things that people are trying to move way ahead on, and the teacher kind of has to prioritize which student they can help first. And they kind of want to take care of the students that are farther behind before they go and help the students that are farther ahead.
Okay, so it's not a perfect system yet. Have you been able to get the help that you've needed?
For the most part. Sometimes it just takes a little time and you have to figure out that you need to work on other stuff. Like in math class, we have a lot of questions, and we only have one teacher for 20-some students, so sometimes our teacher kind of can't get to us. And so we have to either use time outside of class or just work on something else, whether it's another class or just skip that and go to a different assignment.
Okay. So what kind of advice would you have for learners who are coming into a customized learning program?
It's challenging, but it's definitely worth it because you kind of have that little incentive, I guess, to work harder, and you are rewarded even if it's just in your head, just kind of a little personal reward for working as hard as you do.
As you consider your own experiences as well as the experiences of your classmates, what are you observing that indicates that customized learning is making a positive difference?
Well, I know for myself, I'm doing fairly well in all my classes, and I'm enjoying them for the most part. And I think other kids are too. It's a lot of work, but it's very rewarding, and it's also kind of a fun way just to learn that you can, if you're feeling like you want to do a lot of work one day, you can spend a lot of time working really hard that day, and you can get a lot done. And other days you kind of just aren't having the best day. You can kind of be laid back and just take a little break, take that mental break that you need, just kind of recuperate.
All right. So based on your experience with customized learning, would you recommend this approach for other schools, and why would you recommend it if you would?
I think it's a good approach, and I really do like it. I don't think it maybe is for everyone, because here at Harrisburg we do have the traditional option, and some kids chose that because it's easier for them, or customized learning just doesn't work with how their brain works. I think that's a very, very important thing to have, is that choice there. But a lot of the kids here at Harrisburg do participate in the customized learning program, and they find that it's very good. And I think that is because you can work ahead, or you can just kind of do what you want while still staying at a baseline of knowledge.
So Matt, how do you think participating in customized learning is going to impact your future in terms of education?
I think it will definitely help me. It helps me figure out how I learn so that I can take advantage of that, and it helps me to figure out who I learn best with, because I can't just go and learn with whoever, because sometimes that two personalities or whatever, it just doesn't work, and we don't work well together. So it really helps with that aspect, I think.